Hi everyone. Executive authority by executive orders presentation is over Chapter 12, which includes team process and communication. Our group will be going over the way team processes and communication work, which goes hand in hand in the upcoming fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor. Today presenting will be Kevin, Morgan, Matt, and Sarah.
Of all the processes mentioned throughout the chapter, the task work process is your so-called starting point, defined as the activities of team members that relate directly to the accomplishment of team tasks. This is basically when the members of the team interact with the tools of technologies that are used to complete their work. This is your behind-the-scenes negotiations. How this relates to the upcoming fight in our topic, this is the background of the pre-fight. This is getting both sides to agree to terms using tools and technology, which in our case is money and pay-per-view rights. How much will each fighter earn? Will we be able to get both camps to agree to these terms? To get to these terms of agreement, you must go through three separate processes that are crucially important. These include creative behavior, decision making, and boundary spanning. Teams are said to engage in creative behavior by their activities that are focused on generating novel and useful ideas and solutions. Also, creativity in teams may be affected by characteristics such as conformity and attention to detail, which may be of value to some teams. Both fighters must use this process to initiate the terms of the deal. What fighter is going to receive what portion of pay-per-view money, revenue from ticket sales, etc. Now, this is not just a one-meeting deal. This is a long, drawn-out process that both sides must brainstorm on. Brainstorming is a face-to-face meeting to express each side's offers, wants, and needs. To your right are some major must-dos and what not to do during brainstorming sessions. Some major factors are you must have a sharp focus, you must know your number of ideas, and you must be able to stretch your brain. Some things not to do is do not always let the boss speak first. Do not only include experts, and do not do it off-site. Next, we have the decision-making process. Similar to brainstorming, this is actually where you bring your ideas to face-to-face meetings to express each other's sides, what they offer, what they want, and their needs. This is actually broken down into three small sub-factors. Decision informity, which reflects whether members possess adequate information about the own task. Staff validity, which refers to the degree to which members make good recommendations to the leader, in our case, to the fighter and their agents. Finally, hierarchical sensitivity, which reflects the degree to which the leader, our fighter, effectively weighs the recommendations of the team members or camp. This is when our fighters acknowledge everything that has been put on the table and they agree with all the processes that have taken place. Finally, the third and final process of task work is boundary spanning. This involves three types of activities with individuals and groups other than those who are considered part of the team. Like decision making, this can be broken down into three small sub-processes. First, ambassador activities. And this is the communication that is intended to protect the team, persuade others to support the team, or obtain important information for the team. These ambassadors are typically communicate with people who are higher up in the organization. Next is task coordinator activities. These are communications that are intended to coordinate task-related issues with people or groups in other functional areas. And then finally, scout activities. These refer to things that team members do to obtain information about technology, competitors, or the broader marketplace. This, these scout activities are what transition us into our teamwork process.
Teamwork processes are vital for a successful team. The text defines teamwork processes as the interpersonal activities that facilitate the accomplishment of the team's work but do not directly involve task accomplishment itself. Within teamwork processes, there are transition processes, action processes, and interpersonal processes. Transition processes are activities that involve the team preparing for future work. In relation to the UFC, a transition process would be like Floyd Mayweather attending a fight of Conor McGregor's to see him fight in real life, or reviewing some of his tapes to research his fighting style and strategize how he might capitalize on this. These all result in planning for a future task to be performed. Action processes are monitored as the task work is being performed. There are a lot of different types of action processes, and in the video below are Conor McGregor and his team performing tasks to work on striking and agility. The easiest to notice are monitoring progress and recording goals. So this may have been part of McGregor's team creating a strategy to begin with, and they're working towards increasing his chances of victory. The final piece of the teamwork process puzzle is interpersonal processes. This is performed during the transition processes as well as the action processes. These are the way that the team members work together. So how they motivate one another or build confidence. It could also be how they manage conflict. If two members of the team get into a scuffle, how they build teamwork back after that. Or if they disagree on a certain style of training, how they debate and arrive on a conclusion of which one to continue with. Worth pointing out, although McGregor and Mayweather are fighting each other, they're also a part of the team under the UFC umbrella, in that their goal is to have a living and sell as many tickets as possible.
The next topic that we'll be discussing is communication. Communication is a process in which information and meaning is transferred from a sender to a receiver. There are 4 parts to the communication process. The first is the communicator issues, the second is noise, The third is information richness, and the fourth is network structure. The next 3 slides will be going over how these are related to the upcoming sites. The first topic is communicator issues. There are many different issues that teams might have in the ability to communicate directly with their team. Teams might get the wrong information in certain events. Teams might send the wrong message across when they intend to mean something and they really mean another thing. Or also teams might let their emotions get the best of them. The next 2 topics that we'll be going over is noise and what it does, and then also information richness and what it does for your team. Noise is actually an interference that occurs when someone is trying to communicate. There are many different types of noises fighters can use to help get their opponents off the subject. Also, opponents use this type of communication quite frequently to hype up the crowd to get them ready for their fight. The next one is information richness. This is actually the amount of impact or depth that gets transmitted in the message. The best way for fighters to get their point across is the face-to-face approach. The face-to-face approach allows the opponent to provide the greatest opportunity to get their message clear across. The last part to the communication process is network structure. Network structure is the pattern of communication that occurs regularly among the members of a team. Many teams have certain team members that do certain things to help them remain focused on the task at hand. Each team member is vital to the team and plays a special role in the success of any fighter. Another great tool for the network structure is new, and it's also known as social media. This being said, getting your event out to the public so that more fans will be able to see your event is what will help grow your team and make you potentially the next star. Also, there is also a downside to using this media as a way for your team to communicate, is there also are too many outlets that can leak news and things can get misrepresented and taken out of context. So if too many media groups are talking about the same thing, they're more than likely going to get misconstrued, and people are going to not hear the right things because there's too many different people talking about the same subject.
There are a plethora of team states. The idea of a team state is how a team member reacts to another team member's actions. Within this chapter, we will cover 4 main team states: cohesion, potency, mental modes, and transactive memory. Cohesion is a mutualistic relationship between team members. It is the emotional attachment an individual has for its team or an individual on that team. Potency is the next team state. It is the level of confidence a member has for their team. Floyd Mayweather has a high potency within himself, which he has every right to have due to his undefeated title. Potency has a strong positive relationship with team performance. The higher the potency, the better the team performance.